Welcome to my £1 million apartment in Dubai. We're a 10-minute drive from the Burj Khalifa, which is currently the world's tallest residential building. If you're looking for a place to live in Dubai and you're not sure how it all works, this is a great video for you because I'm going to tell you my experience, the good, the bad and the ugly. And I actually made a huge mistake when I moved into this apartment, which nearly made me move back into Airbnbs. It was really bad. I'll tell you later on in the video. So this apartment is actually a 1-bedroom loft. So we've got the kitchen right here. We've also got a downstairs bathroom. This is kind of the open plan living kitchen area. And then we've got the big sliding door here. I love the windows. It's like floor to ceiling windows right here. And we've also got a cool little feature, which probably one of the things that sold it for me was when you press this, called sheer curtain button, it closes these curtains, and then you can also press the blind curtain button and it will close the main blinds for you. So that's a nice little touch. Also, lighting wise, we've got living relax, which is this. We've also got the cove light and we've got the pendant light. Now in the nighttime, the balcony looks pretty cool, to be honest with you. I love going on the balcony in the nighttime and just relaxing there, you know, clearing my head, just admiring the view. And we're very close to the Burj Khalifa here, so you always get a Burj Khalifa view. But let me show you the rest of the apartment. So this is the stairs. We also have the staircase lights right here. Let me go ahead and open up these blinds again. So you can access the blinds from here. So as soon as I wake up, I just press the button and it opens the blinds for me, which is pretty cool. Now, one downside about this apartment was the wardrobe space. So as you can see here, these are my wardrobes. There's quite a lot of space, to be honest with you, but I've also got storage up there and here as well. But I've got a lot of clothes, so I just got this. I built this, and then these are just drying. I do like how I've got a desk set up here. So sometimes I just do some Zoom meetings right here, and then I've got the view. This is the main bathroom, and I really love the shower, so powerful. And I've even got a Bluetooth speaker because if you know me, you know I'm a singer. I love to sing when I'm in the shower. But yeah, this is the bathroom. This TV was £500 and this soundbar was around £100. It's a Samsung soundbar. I just got it from the Mall of Emirates. I do find certain things are cheaper in Dubai. I believe it's because of the tax. Certain things are cheaper. This is a 65-inch TV. And then this sofa, I actually got this sofa for £600, which in my opinion is significantly cheaper than the UK. Because a sofa like this in the UK, you might spend £1.5 or £2,000. I mean, it's not like a high-end sofa, but I like it. It does the job. I actually really enjoy getting sun. A lot of people say about Dubai it's too hot, but me, I love the sun. This is the balcony. Now, the crazy thing is, they're actually building the world's largest mall right here. And then, over here, we actually have the world's tallest residential building. So it's currently the Burj Khalifa. However, they're actually making the new world's tallest residential building, which is just around the corner. It's called the Burj Jacob & Co. and the developer are called Bingati. So that's literally right there. I can see it from the gym. I'll show you right now. So I've literally been watching this place get built day by day. They're making improvements, and me, because I'm a property guy, I love to see it. So why did I actually move to Dubai? Well, I'm 30 years old. I've always lived in Nottingham in the UK, and I felt like I needed to push myself. I needed to get out of my comfort zone so I could grow. And that's why I moved to Dubai. That was the main reason. But other reasons are tax benefits, the weather, the lifestyle, the convenience. And whenever I visit Dubai, I've been like 6 times in my whole life to Dubai to visit on holiday. And every time I just loved it and I never wanted to come home. So I just thought, yeah, I want to live in this place. Work-wise, I'm a business owner. I've got quite a few different businesses. My main business is my property portfolio. So I have 31 properties in the UK, in Nottingham, and that kind of pays me every month. But then I also have a training and education business where I teach people about property. And now I'm actually purchasing properties here in Dubai. So I'm in the process of buying my first few properties here with my investors back in the UK. I've lived here for 6 months. I've got my Emirates ID. I'm a resident of Dubai. I'm still a resident of the UK also. And I've got my Dubai driver's license. I also registered a business here in Dubai, and I've also got my business bank account, my personal bank account. So I'm now seeing the benefits of living here tax-wise. So that's very good. And now I've got my apartment sorted as well. So what do you actually get for £2,800 per month? Well, for me, I get a 1-bedroom loft in SLS, Dubai, hotel and residences. In this building, it's split up between hotel side and residence side. Now, I'm on the residence side, and the good thing is I still get a lot of the benefits of the hotel side. When it comes to the staff in this building, the concierge, they're so helpful. When I'm telling you, they've really got your back. Like anything you need, they're there for you. You can ask them anything. For example, the cleaner, when she comes, the concierge will let the cleaner into the building. They'll give her access to my apartment. They'll even let her in my apartment so she can clean. Other examples is, say if I've got a friend visiting, they'll let them up, they'll let them in, and they'll bring up your shopping, they'll bring up your luggage. If you have someone staying, they'll bring their luggage. Say if you go to the supermarket, for example, they'll bring up all of your shopping. So there's a load of stuff they do, and they're just super, super helpful and nice. They treat you with a lot of respect. Say for example as well, when you're ordering food from say Talabat or Kareem, say if you just ordered a coffee, well, they'll bring it to the downstairs reception, and then reception will bring it up to your door. The Talabat driver won't be allowed to go up to your room, to your apartment, but they have a bellboy. A bellboy is basically someone that brings up the bags, brings up the shopping, brings up the food orders. They're so fast and they're super nice. They'll put the coffee or your food right outside your door, and then they'll knock on the door and they kind of run off, which I find kind of funny, but they're just so nice. They really respect your privacy as well. So privacy is big in these kind of buildings. This building, quite a famous building, SLS. The hotel side, I used to want to stay here. So my first 4 months in Dubai, I was staying in Airbnbs whilst I was figuring out what area I wanted to live. And I saw this SLS on booking.com a lot, and I wanted to stay here, but I just couldn't justify spending £1,000 a night in the hotel side, because when I was looking in like January, February, March, most of the time it was like between £600 to £1,000 a night just to stay in the hotel. But now I've got an apartment here for £2,800. It's actually £2,830 per month. And I'm going to explain how you pay the landlord, etc. later on in the video. But in terms of what you get, the main things are the valet parking, concierge services, the bellboy to help bring things up and down to your apartment. And in terms of the amenities, this is the great thing about this building. The residence pool on the 6th floor, this is probably where I spend a lot of time, guys. I go to the gym there on the 6th floor, and then sometimes after the gym, I just jump straight into the pool. This is one of my favorite parts about this building because the pool is so nice. No one ever uses it, which I'm really surprised at. Maybe it's because it's summer, but right now, no one's really using these pools. They have a jacuzzi, really big swimming pool, and they have like a kids pool area as well. So a family could live here. You don't really see that much, families living here. I think it is mainly like couples or single people living here, but you could live here with a family if you wanted to. So what else have we got in this building? We've got smoke and mirrors cigar lounge, which is a very nice, luxurious cigar lounge. You can go there, get some drink, get some cigars, enjoy a nice smoke. It's definitely a vibe. And then opposite that, you have Corner, which is a restaurant, and they do like a Sunday roast. I've only ate there one time. It's very nice. And yeah, that's one of the restaurants in this building. You also have a male salon. I go there every week, and it's about £35 for a haircut, which is not too bad. A woman's salon, you guys could get your nails done, your hair done. It's very convenient in this building. I don't really feel like I need to leave this building, put it that way. They also have a men's spa and a woman's spa. So you can go there, enjoy the spa facilities. It's around £30 if you're a resident, you just tell them you're a resident and you can actually use the spa. They are separated, so it's a separate man and woman spa. You also have the sky lobby on the 71st floor. Now this is very, very nice. If you have any meetings, you can go there, relax. It's got a great view of the whole of Dubai. It's a really nice view on the sky lobby on the 71st floor. So I like to go there to do some work sometimes as well. You also have the meeting rooms. These rooms are nice to just, if you want to just crack on and do some work, it's a perfect place to just sit, do some work. And you've also got Filia, which is an Italian restaurant, and it's actually very nice for breakfast, lunch and dinner, to be honest with you. The food is amazing. If you like Italian food, I recommend you go there. It's kind of like a bougie restaurant, to be honest with you. But if you live here, if you're a resident, you do get, I think it's a 15% discount. So that's pretty cool. And as well, for the breakfast in Filia, if you go there before 10:30, because the breakfast is between 8 to 10:30, you can tell them you're a resident, and now you're getting a Michelin star breakfast for £20. It's actually £19. It's crazy. I have noticed as well, the exchange rate right now has improved. When I first came to Dubai, I think the exchange rate was around 4.6. 4.6 dirhams equals £1. Now it's 5 dirhams equals £1. So that actually works out better for us. So now the breakfast is probably £18, for example. So it's pretty cool, and that's a nice touch in this building. We've also got on the ground floor a shop, which is pretty cool to go if you need any groceries. It's very convenient. I like to go there, sometimes just wander around and just look at all the cool things that they have. They have a lot of fruit. We've also got a coffee shop on the ground floor. This coffee shop, if you join Disloyalty, you can pay £12 a month and you get free coffee every single day. But they do make you pay for the plastic cup if it's takeaway. But it's still pretty cool. I use there, I get my coffees every day from there. One big tip, guys, I've got for you is if you're in Dubai, order from Everyday Roastery. The coffee is amazing. I order that every day. The bellboy brings it right up to my door, and guess what? Sometimes it takes 5 minutes from the moment I order the coffee for it to arrive at my doorstep. 5 minutes. Imagine in UK, you would never get that. So any building that you're living in, you're gonna want really good gyms. So the good thing is in this building, we've got 2 different gyms. We've got the residence gym, which is the one I go to, and we've also got the hotel gym, which you can pay money to go to. The residence one is free for me because I live here. The gyms, they're not massive. However, they've got everything you need. The dumbbells are not that heavy, which is one downfall. However, they do have like a yoga area with an amazing view of Jacob and Co Bingati. So whilst I'm doing some little stretching and doing some boxing and stuff, I can look at this building being built, which is going to be the world's tallest residential tower. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So another benefit of living in a building which is half hotel and half residence is that you can benefit from the cleaning. So for example, any maintenance or any cleaning, I can literally message downstairs, I message reception, and I'll just say, hey guys, I need this doing, I need that doing, I need you to send a cleaner up. They'll just send them up, honestly. And they charge you, but it's very, very cheap. We're talking maybe like £7 an hour for cleaning, and that's a hotel cleaner. That's pretty much it, guys, for the building. If you do find an apartment in a building which is half hotel, half residences, I would recommend you seriously consider moving there if it's a 5-star hotel, because you're going to benefit from a lot of these, amenities and services that the hotel are providing their guests. You can really tap into that. I fully recommend you look into that, guys. So you might be thinking, UK prices versus Dubai, when it comes to renting, what are we talking? So with a studio apartment in London Zone 1, you're looking around £2,000 plus per month. In Manchester city centre, studio apartment, £1,100 plus. In Dubai, in Business Bay, which is where this apartment is located, you're looking at between £1,000 to £1,500 per month. London being the most expensive, then Dubai, and then Manchester. So Dubai is like in the middle of London and Manchester for studios. Let's look at a 1-bedroom high-end apartment in London Zone 1. We're looking £3,500 to £5,500 per month. This for a high-end 1-bed, keep in mind. Manchester city centre, we're looking £1,800 to £2,500 per month. And in Dubai Business Bay, we're looking between £2,000 to £3,000 per month. Now that's about right, guys, because this is obviously a loft, 1-bedroom loft. So I thought it was called a duplex, but it's not, it's called a loft. This one is £2,831 per month. London Zone 1 comes in at, you know, the most expensive. I can tell you something though, living here is basically you're in the city center of Dubai. You're very, very, very close to downtown Dubai. We're pretty much in the city center. That gives you an indication on the type of price comparison. Obviously Manchester is much cheaper. So it goes London, Business Bay, and then Manchester in terms of the most expensive. Why did I actually choose to live in Business Bay? Well, if you live in Business Bay, you're like 5 to 10 minutes from downtown Dubai, Dubai Mall, and you're very central. I class this as pretty much city center of Dubai. Business Bay is packed with different restaurants, gyms, rooftop bars, rooftop lounges. There's tons to do here. You're super close to Dubai Mall, which is a massive selling point for me to actually live here, because I do like just nip into the mall, Dubai Mall, super close. So for me, it's more about the building is what sold it for me, because I was looking in downtown, Business Bay, Marina, and I just thought, I need a really nice building. The amenities of the building are super important for me, because especially in summer when it's super hot, a lot of days you're not going to need to leave your building when you've got all this stuff going on in your actual building. So that's definitely a plus selling point for me. Now, when it comes to Dubai, you've got 4 main areas. These are the most well-known areas, and I'm going to quickly explain what they are. So you've got downtown Dubai, that is the city center, okay? And then right next to downtown Dubai, you've got Business Bay, which is where we are right now. Then you've also got the Palm, which is a very touristy area of Dubai. Like, if you come to Dubai, you need to check out the Palm. You need to stay there, visit there, or at least go and grab dinner there in one of the restaurants, or just you need to visit the Palm just to say you've done it and to experience it. In terms of living there, I personally wouldn't want to live on the Palm, because I feel like it's quite hard to get to downtown, to get to more central Dubai, because you have to drive around the whole kind of thing. It takes a while to get off the Palm. Also, there's not that much going on in the Palm. Depending on what you like to do, the kind of things I like to do, there's not that much stuff to do on the Palm for me. For me, I wouldn't want to live there. Visit there, yes, but live there, personally, it's not for me. Also, right next to the Palm, you have Marina. Dubai Marina. For me, when I first came to Dubai, I was staying in Airbnbs purely in Marina. Reasons why I wanted to live in Marina were because I felt like there was a lot going on for me there. There was some really good kickboxing gym. You've got Marina Walk, you've got JBR in Marina. So there's lots of, you know, stuff going on in Marina. And I really enjoyed spending time there. I used to just walk around the marina and just soak it all in. I felt like it's very beautiful. It's definitely a touristy kind of spot. And in terms of traffic, you are going to experience some traffic, quite bad actually, if you do live in Marina. That's the downsides of living there. But for me, I was actually looking to live in Marina. That was my plan. I was thinking, I want to live in Marina. But then I soon realized a lot of the buildings in Marina are very old and outdated. And the super nice buildings in Marina, you know, the amenities are nice, but when I came here, I was shocked at the amenities in SLS, and the amenities is what sold it for me. And also the wow factor of having the high windows and the duplex element to it as well. All the ones that I was viewing in Marina were in the nice buildings that I viewed. They were just nothing that had that wow factor. So that's why I decided to go for this one. For me, this had a wow factor and I wanted to live here. Marina, Business Bay, downtown, the Palm, these are the main 4 areas in Dubai. But there's also loads of other great places in Dubai, but I'm gonna save that for another video. So now we're gonna go into our next point, which is the renting process in Dubai. For me, I'm from UK, I'm a landlord in the UK, so I'm very familiar with how everything works when it comes to property and renting properties in the UK. In the UK, it's very favored towards the tenant. Okay, so say for example in the UK, if you just stop paying rent for a whole year, you're gonna get taken to court by the landlord if they can afford to pay the legal fees. You're not gonna be made homeless. You have to go through all of the proper procedures to evict a tenant. Okay, so it's very favored in the tenant's favor in the UK. However, in Dubai, if you don't pay your rent, hey, you're homeless. I'll be real. You get chances to pay your rent and you can work things out with a landlord, but ultimately guys, here it's more of a balanced system. Okay, so if someone doesn't pay, they will eventually be kicked out. Okay, and that's just kind of how it works here. It's a bit more balanced in the UK, where some tenants really do take the piss. in the UK. So that's one thing I noticed straight away. Other things, guys, is the whole process of renting a property here in Dubai. Number one is you need to be a resident of Dubai to actually rent a long-term apartment. Now, in order to become a resident, you need to get your residency, which involves applying, going through the whole process, and eventually getting your Emirates ID. Now, an Emirates ID, I'll put it on the screen. I've got mine right here, but this is what it looks like, guys. It's a little pink card, and this is the Emirates ID. Now, before you have this, you're going to need to stay in Airbnbs or hotels. Okay, that's pretty much your options. You're gonna need to stay in like a short-term accommodation whilst you're finding a property. I'd recommend you come here and don't try and find a place from the UK. So don't be in the UK or a different country and looking online, trying to line up a place for you to live from a different country. No, I'd say come here, be here physically, and then start looking, because I've noticed that a lot of these listings that, you know, say for example, the main website to find properties is called propertyfinder.ae. I'll put it on the screen right here. There's lots of fake listings, okay, on this website, and it's a bit of a problem. Also, a lot of the listings, like, they look nice, but you go there and you're just like, what is this? This looks horrible. So there's a few ways to do it, guys, but ultimately, when you're in Dubai, that's when you want to start looking. You want to get an agent to arrange all of the viewings for you, or you can arrange all of the viewings yourself directly with the different agents. I personally had an agent reach out to me through social media. They offered me to help me to find a place, and I agreed. They put in a lot of hard work. What happened was, this agent, they were new to Dubai, but I thought, let me give them a chance. They actually lined up altogether about 30, maybe more, different apartments for me to view, and I realized it was putting in a lot of hard work. So I said to them, look, you keep arranging these viewings, and you know what, I'll make sure that I take the place through you. So I'll make sure you get your commission, because they work on a commission only basis. Okay, so the agents typically will be working commission only. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure that you look after your agent if they are putting a lot of hard work in finding you a place, but make sure they are doing that hard work, okay? Because if they're just slacking off, you might as well just go direct, propertyfinder.ae, and you look on the listings, you find ones that you're interested in, you then message the agency on WhatsApp. It's pretty cool. It's actually quite a good system that they have. You know, you just click on the listing, you click on WhatsApp, send you an automated message, and then it diverts you to the correct agent. Then you view the property with the agent, and as long as you've got your Emirates ID, you can basically apply. You know, you can make an offer, and people think you just have to pay exactly what the landlord wants. No, you can negotiate with these landlords. Trust me, there's always room for negotiation, guys. A lot of the time, the landlords will list their properties quite high, and if you love the place, definitely make a lowball offer. Okay, keep in mind, there might be lots of other people that are interested in the apartment or villa that you're looking at, but I definitely recommend you make an offer to try and get the best price possible. Then the process from there is very simple. Once you've agreed the price and you've agreed to rent the property, the next step is to sign the tenancy contract, typically for 1 year. Usually you'll need to pay a security deposit, which is 5% of the total annual rent. Okay, so say if the rent is 170,000 dirhams per year, which is what this was, then you'll need to pay 8,500 dirhams, okay, as a one-off payment. That's your security deposit. This apartment was unfurnished. That's why it was only 5%. So that works out to be 1,700 pounds. Okay, that's how much you pay as a security deposit. So that's roughly about half of 1 month's rent. So that's not bad at all. When it comes to agreeing the rent with the landlord, one negotiation point that you're gonna have to agree is how are you gonna pay in terms of the checks. So in Dubai, it's different to the UK. In the UK, it's like you pay your monthly rent. Okay, you just set up a direct debit or a standing order to the landlord or agency, and you pay your rent every single month. In Dubai, how it works is, it's done through checks. You will have money in your Dubai bank account, and you'll have a checkbook provided by the bank. You will sign a check and you will provide that to the agent or to the landlord. And this check is basically, it's like an IOU. So it's like, I am going to pay X amount on this date. And what they'll do is they'll cash the check, and the money will automatically be taken from your bank account, okay, to the landlord or to the agency, okay? Typically it goes direct to the landlord. Checks is a negotiating point because you can pay for the whole year up front in one check. You can do that. Now, of course, most people are not gonna wanna do that, okay, myself included. Why would you wanna pay up front for your rent for a whole year? For me, it doesn't make sense. I wanted to do it over 6 or 5 different checks. I agreed on 4 checks, okay? Now, most landlords are gonna be happy with 1 or 2 checks. To be honest, most of them are gonna be happy with 3 checks, okay? However, some landlords are very strict on wanting 1 check or 2 checks. They will be like, no, I'm not accepting any offers unless it's 1 or 2 checks or 1 check, meaning they're gonna get all of their rent up front for the whole year. Some people do that. You can use this as a negotiation power, okay? Because if you're gonna pay up front for the whole year, then that's the selling point to the landlord. They know they're definitely gonna get their money, okay? Lots of people in Dubai take out a year contract, they get halfway through, they might be 6 months in, and they can't afford to pay their rent, okay? So they have to basically move out. The landlords know this. If you're an experienced landlord, you know sometimes people get money problems, maybe they've moved back to their home country and they just need to just give back the apartment and move out. It happens a lot, okay? So that's why most landlords are gonna want 1 or 2 checks, okay? But you can negotiate to do more checks. Some people will even do 6 checks or 8 or 12. You can negotiate, okay? It's very rare that someone will do 12 checks, but it can happen. When I was doing all of my viewings, some of the landlords were open to doing 12 checks, 8 checks, that kind of thing, but I didn't really want those properties. For me, I could have done 6 checks for this particular deal, but I decided to just do 4. That works better for me. I was happy with that. So I just do 4 payments of £8,481. That's British pounds, which is 42,500 dirham. So every 3 months, I pay 8.5 grand. That's how it works. I'm happy with that, and that's what I negotiated. So anyway, that explains how you do it when it comes to the checks. Now, the agency fee. Okay, you're gonna have to pay an agency fee unless you go direct to the landlord. So sometimes people will manage to find a landlord that's renting a property, they'll go direct to them and they won't need to pay any agency fees. So in this particular situation, there was an agent involved. There was actually 2 agents. The agent that was working on behalf of me, arranging all of these viewings for me, she split the commission with the main agent, okay, that was listing this property. So they actually split it 50-50. The main agency got 2.5%, and then the agent that was helping me got 2.5%. So that's kind of how that worked. When you're negotiating your contract with the landlord or through the agency, how it worked with me is I did it through the agency, they went to the landlord, and then the agency came back to me. So when you're negotiating your rental contract, you need to make sure that it clearly spells out who's responsible for the maintenance and any early termination clauses, because sometimes it will say that, you know, if you do leave the tenancy early, you will have to pay the whole of the year's rent, the rest of the year's rent. Now, if you are smart, you will negotiate that in to say that, you know, you want a better deal. Maybe you have to pay a month extra, okay, or something like that. You don't want to pay for the rest of the whole year, because imagine you're 6 months in, you terminate early, and now you still owe 6 months to the landlord. So try and negotiate on that point. Most landlords should be quite lenient with you. Some of them might say, yeah, we'll do a 3-month clause, so you will only have to pay a 3-month penalty if you leave early. Some of them might be strict and say no, and just straight up, you have to pay the whole year even if you leave early. That's one thing to try and include in your contract. Maintenance as well. Make sure it spells out who's responsible for what. So for example, the setup that I've got is the landlord is responsible for any main things that go wrong. For example, if there's any AC issues, any heating issues, or like flooring, any bathroom problems like with the shower, the toilet, etc. Any small maintenance issues I cover. Okay, so anything less than 400 dirham, which is about 80 pounds, I believe. Let me check. Wow, it's exactly 80 pounds. Congrats, pat on the back for me. My mental maths is very good. So yeah, 80 pounds, anything more than 80 pounds, the landlord will cover. So that's a very normal and basic clause to have, especially in this kind of building where maintenance issues are not really a big issue for the landlord, because he's obviously paying his service charge to the building, so he's paying that from his end as the owner of the property. That covers a lot of things for him. Okay, this through the service charge. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Okay, the next step from here is you have to register for something called the Ejari. Ejari is Dubai's official rental registration system. That was a tongue twister. And it's managed by the Dubai Land Department. So Ejari, essentially, it protects the landlord and the tenant. You can't set up the DIWA, which is your utilities, without an Ejari certificate. Your agent or your landlord, they might do it for you, or you can set it up yourself via the Dubai Rest app or through an Ejari typing center. The cost is usually around 220 to 250 dirhams, which is around 42, 43 pounds. So once you've got your Ejari, you have to set up your DIWA and get your internet sorted. DIWA stands for Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. So in order to activate your DIWA, you're going to need a tenancy contract, you're going to need a Ejari certificate, and your Emirates ID. Also, you're gonna need your passport as well. Now guys, you are going to need to pay a security deposit. Now I know this sounds a bit crazy, but you're gonna have to pay for an apartment. It's around 2,000 dirham as a one-time payment, and that works out to be roughly 400 pounds, British pounds. There's also a connection fee, which is 110 to 130 dirhams. Setup usually takes 24 to 48 hours. And then you need to set up your internet. I'd recommend you go with Elistat or Do. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these companies, guys. I don't know how you say that, how you pronounce it, but Etisalat, they are pretty good, to be honest with you. I've actually gone with Virgin Media. I wouldn't recommend you use Virgin. They're not very good in Dubai, to be honest. I use my mobile data for most things. It's pretty cool though, because you know in the UK, when you apply for internet in your home, they take long. Like usually they will come out in like 3 days, a week. Over here, you can get it in half an hour, okay? Which is crazy. I was so shocked by that. I just made the mistake of going with Virgin. I should have gone with a different provider, but anyway, they are very fast. Sometimes it can take 1 to 3 days, but as I said, Virgin was like, I think it was 60 minutes and it was here. So the next steps is you move in. So once your DIWA is activated, you can literally grab your keys and move in. Now guys, I know this seems like a lot of headache and stress and lots to learn, but to be honest with you, just learn them now. And when it comes time, you're gonna have all of this education. You're literally educating yourself right now on this video, and it's gonna help you. So be prepared for what's to come. It's nothing crazy, guys, nothing to worry about. And you can always, if you get stuck, rewatch this, or you know, do a quick Google search. It's real simple, guys. So don't overcomplicate it and don't stress. You'll be fine. Okay, so this actually brings me on to my biggest mistake, guys. This was my biggest and most stupid mistake. Honestly, I kind of kicked myself when I look back. I'm like, wow, Luigi, you really did not do your due diligence, mate. But to be honest, the agent I was working with, they was kind of new to, you know, Dubai and lettings in Dubai. So they should have really explained and helped me through this process. They did apologize to me once this kind of happened, but something happened, guys. Let me just get to it. I moved into the apartment and I did not register for DIWA. Okay, so I moved in and I didn't have my utilities set up, guys. Okay, and what that meant was the AC was disconnected. So I moved in to this apartment and I was sweating. I was hot. And honestly, there was moments, guys, where I felt like passing out because it was flipping hot. So that was my biggest mistake, was not registering for the DIWA before I actually moved into the apartment. So the chiller fee. So to have AC, you need AC. Some properties are going to be AC included, so the landlord would actually pay for the AC costs. But for this one, the AC is a cost that I have to cover, and it's included in my DIWA payments. But because I didn't register my DIWA before I moved into the apartment, it meant when I moved in, there was literally no AC. So I was saying to the agents, like, what's going on? I can't stay here. It's too hot, I need to go. I was literally so close to just packing my bag and going to an Airbnb, going back to Airbnb. I was so close. So how do you check if your AC cost is included in your tenancy? All you need to do is just look on the tenancy contract, and if it says anything like chiller free or chiller included or tenant responsible for district cooling. You can work it out from the tenancy contract. If you're not sure, ask the agent, ask the landlord, but you should be able to work it out from just reading the contract. So the agent, they actually brought me over a AC, so like a temporary AC unit where you put water in the back. In fact, let me show you. Right, I've still got it, guys. This is very meaningful for me. You know, this is my AC, my chiller, you know, my temporary AC unit that the agent brought me when I was sweating my tits off in this apartment. But yeah, they brought me this, and to be honest, it did the job. Anyway, guys, that happened. That was my biggest mistake, and everything else went pretty smooth, to be honest. I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad I moved here, and I've learned lots throughout the process. But anyway, what else do you guys need to know if you're moving to Dubai? So how much is a chiller gonna cost if you are responsible for paying the chiller fees? Well, it's gonna cost you between 500 to 1,200 dirhams per month, and these are in the summer. Okay, so the summer months, this is how much it's gonna cost for an apartment like this. So we're looking at, you know, 1,200 dirhams, worst case, that's around 240 pounds per month. So it's not a massive cost, but it's definitely a cost that you're gonna need to factor in. So on average, this is how much you're gonna be paying for your DIWA. Okay, so this is for water, electric, and the chiller. Winter months, it's gonna be between 600 to 900 dirhams. So that's between 120 to 180 pounds per month. That's in the winter months, okay? In the summer months, you're gonna be looking to pay between 1,000 to 1,500 per month, which is the equivalent of 200 to 300 pounds per month, okay? So I'll be honest with you guys, that's actually quite a lot cheaper than the UK. Okay, because the UK electricity costs, water, gas, electric, it's more than this. I'll be honest with you. Cost of living here, when it comes to bills, is cheaper in Dubai from my perspective, okay? And the big reason for that, guys, is because in the UK, you have to pay council tax. There's no council tax here. Council tax in the UK is an absolute scam. They charge you, for me, I was paying 200 pounds, British pounds a month. It was at 180 per month for one person, you know. For me, I was living in a 3-bedroom apartment in Nottingham in the UK, and I was paying 180 pounds for council tax. Excuse me, what? Yeah. So over here, you save, you don't have to pay that. So should you go for furnished or unfurnished? Now, I'd recommend if you're only planning on being in Dubai for a short period of time, maybe 6 to 12 months, then yes, you should go for furnished, because there's no point you buying a load of furniture if you're not going to be here long term. If you really want to make it your own and you know you're planning on being there for maybe a couple of years or more, then furnish it yourself, I'd say. Furniture is significantly cheaper. As I said, this sofa was 600 pounds. I do believe if this was in UK, it would be around 2 grand. I'm being honest here, guys. I'm not trying to big up this sofa, but I do think this would be 2 grand in UK, okay? It's nice. It's a good quality sofa. Emirates Mall, if you go to the 2nd floor, I believe, on Emirates Mall, there's some really nice shops, like home shops. You can get sofas, you can get like poofs, you can get chairs, you can get bedding, everything you need. That's where I go, and it's actually very reasonable. So when it comes to cost of living in Dubai, there's one other large expense that people normally pay in the UK, is for their car and their car insurance. Now, I wanted to share this interesting statistic with you. I've just thought of a random, typical car that lots of people have in the UK, which is an A-class Mercedes, okay? I asked ChatGPT, and also I just know here, let me just tell you this stat. Let me just shut up and tell you this stat. Fully comped in the UK is 1,200 to 2,500 just for car insurance, and that's for the year. In Dubai, fully comped is 2,500 dirham to 4,500 dirham. Okay, so let's go high end, 4,500 dirham. That's 900 pounds for the year. Divide that by 12, that's 74 pounds a month. So to get a Mercedes A-Class, fully comped, insured, 900 pounds in Dubai, and that's the top end. In the UK, it's 2,500 pounds. Plus, to be honest with you, I know people that are paying a lot more than 2,500 a year for an A-Class. Basically, guys, it's much cheaper to insure a car in Dubai. In the UK, insurance providers, they penalize young drivers heavily, okay? Now in Dubai, car repairs are significantly cheaper, which impacts the insurance price. Okay, so you can get car repairs done for super cheap here. Naturally, you're gonna pay less in insurance. When it comes to cost of living, another thing that you're gonna have to factor in is your petrol cost. Now, I know a lot of people with cars in the UK, they hate going to the petrol station. So in Dubai, on average, fuel is 55 to 60% cheaper. So that's a big saving there. Another thing I've noticed, guys, from being in Dubai, when it comes to cost of living, is the Ubers and the Careems. You can order taxis on Careem, and it's significantly cheaper on Careem than Uber. Just keep that in mind. But also, it's cheaper in Dubai to get taxis than it is in UK, significantly cheaper. To do a 5-kilometer ride, okay, in Dubai, it's gonna cost you around £3. Now, if you're to get a London cab, like a normal London taxi, black cab, it's gonna cost you £17 to £22 for a 5-kilometer ride. That's a massive, massive difference there. Obviously, it depends on lots of factors like, you know, what kind of car it is, etc. Ubers over here, you can go for Uber Lux. That's what I usually use if I'm using an Uber. They have some nice cars that they'll pick you up in. Pretty reasonable price, to be honest, but obviously it can add up if you're going for Uber Lux every time. When it comes to your internet and mobile, roughly in Dubai, you're gonna be looking to pay around £90 per month. That's for like a very good mobile package, internet package for your home. So for your apartment and your mobile phone, it's gonna come to roughly about £90 per month. But that's gonna give you super high speeds and you're not really gonna have any issues. Well, hopefully you won't. I'm not personally. So other things to keep in mind is buying properties in Dubai. I'm gonna give you some key facts. When you're buying a property in Dubai, there's usually a 4% DLD fee, unless that fee has been waived by the government, because on some developments, they will waive that fee. But normally, 99% of the time, you're gonna have to pay 4% DLD, which stands for Dubai Land Department, and it's basically the equivalent of stamp duty. In the UK, the tier system that they have for buying properties is annoying as hell. I've bought like over 33 properties in my whole life in the UK, and it's always confusing and a nightmare on how much do we have to pay. The tier system is just stupid in the UK, but over here, it's very simple. It's 4% of the purchase price, okay? Very simple. And when it comes to deposits, normally it's going to be around 35% deposit that you're going to have to put down if you're an international buyer. So if you're looking to use a mortgage in Dubai, yes, you can use mortgages in Dubai. If you need a mortgage broker, I'll put a link in the description of this video for a very good Dubai mortgage broker. They are the best in the game. Check them out and drop them a message. Just tell them that Luigi sent you. Mortgages in Dubai, if you're living in a different country and you want to buy in Dubai, own in Dubai, you would normally have to pay 35% deposit for an international mortgage. And how it works is, guys, is if you've got £10,000 British pounds or more in your bank account consistently for the last 4 to 6 months, then that's the main criteria. So they just want to know that you've got good amount of money in your bank account over the last 6 months, is there, you're safe to give a mortgage to. Ultimately, that's the main criteria. There are other things as well, such as, do you have a business in the UK or wherever you're based? Are you working? They want to see your passport. They might ask you for a credit report as well, like Experian or Check My File. And basically, if you're not sure if you can get a mortgage or not, then click on the link, speak with my broker in Dubai. They're from Lion Mortgages. They'll help you out. And just make sure you tell them I sent you, because they'll look after you. They'll make sure to give you that 5-star service. If you buy a property that is worth over 750,000 dirhams, which is the equivalent of £149,000, then you can get an investor visa, which is a 2-year visa, and you don't need to live in Dubai to actually, have this visa. This visa is going to give you residency in Dubai, but you don't need to be there for the whole year. If the property is above 750,000 dirhams, even if you're using a mortgage, you can still get an investor visa, okay? And every 2 years you just renew it. But if the property value is over 2 million dirhams, you can get a golden visa, which is probably the best visa that I've heard of in Dubai, because a golden visa is a 10-year visa. And the best thing is, you don't even need to be in Dubai on a golden visa. So you don't even need to be present here. I think there's some requirements that you need to enter and exit maybe once a year, something like that. But honestly, guys, it's very relaxed. The golden visa means you can have a Dubai bank account. So say if you own a property in Dubai, you bought a property here, you've got your Dubai bank account, all of the income that you make into your Dubai bank account will be completely tax-free because there's zero income tax in Dubai as it stands right now. There's corporation tax if you're doing it for a business, but if you own a property in your personal name here, you've got a golden visa, all the rental income, even if it's an Airbnb, is all tax-free money. Now you can see my eyes just sparking up here because my business brain is ticking right now. I'm thinking, this is crazy. The UK government would never implement this. I'm telling you, they are take. In Dubai, the tax system is it's amazing, guys. And it's really nice to experience it. I've never been in this situation where I'm paying no tax on income. It's mad. And buying properties here, there's two main ways to do it. You can buy ready-made properties, which are buildings and apartments that have already been built and finished. You can just buy them. That's called ready-made. The other way to buy properties is off-plan. Now, off-plan property is a property that's still under construction. Maybe it's halfway through, maybe they've not even started the construction. That's called off-plan. Okay, so you're buying a property before it's finished. Okay, that's off-plan. So that's some information on buying properties in Dubai. You can get a villa, an apartment. There's tons of lovely properties here in Dubai. Some beautiful buildings, beautiful villas, communities. There's even communities which have got these things called lagoons. I'll show you what it looks like right here. It's crazy. They're like massive swimming pools. Really cool. If you need help with buying investment properties in Dubai, or even just something for you to live in, you want to buy something in Dubai, then click on the link in the description. You can book in a call with myself and my team, and we'll run through everything with you and basically see how we can help you to find you the perfect investment properties in Dubai. Or if you just want information on how it works, then yeah, just book in a call, speak with us, and we'll see how we can help. Keep in mind, if you want to buy a property in Dubai, you're going to need a minimum of £100,000 in your bank, ready to go. 100,000 British pounds in your bank. If you've got that or more, then book in a call and speak with us. We're happy to help. So, who should move to Dubai? Well, Dubai is not going to be for everyone. But what I would say is that if you like the heat, you like to be in the sun, you like, luxury, you like to live nice, maybe you're a business owner, I would say move here because it is great. If that kind of fits your criteria, you will love it. For me, my favorite things about Dubai is 100% the convenience. Everything over here is smart. The way they've set things up, it's just very smart compared to UK. In UK, you go into a shop and they're kind of like, not all shops, but most shops, you'll go into a UK shop and they might say, how can I help? What did you want? That'd be £10.50, please. They're very mundane. A lot of people are depressed in the UK. When you go to Dubai in a shop, they'll just be like, hello, sir. Thank you, sir. £5.20, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day. They're actually nice to you. That's my experience in Dubai, And even though it's a small detail, when you're facing it every single day, like people in the UK and just general customer service in the UK, they just treat you like shit. That's what I found. You even have like waiters and waitresses piping up to you in restaurants. You're not going to get that in Dubai. Everyone is on point. Everyone appreciates their job. In Dubai, there's no real benefit system where you get JSA or job seekers allowance and universal credit. There's nothing really like that for most people. Okay, so what that means is when someone's got a job in Dubai, they value their job. They understand they need to keep their job and they don't want to lose their job. Because as well, their visa, so their residency is linked to their work a lot of the time. So if they lose their job, they're going to need to find another job or somehow get a visa to stay in the country. So what that means is people work hard. They really do. People work hard in Dubai, and you know what? I love that. I honestly love the fact people work hard in Dubai because I'm so hardworking myself. So I get on with people that are ambitious, they work hard. If that's you meet that criteria, then look into it, guys. That's what I would say. There are other places you can live outside of the UK that are nice. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Dubai. If you want me to make specific videos, let me know what you want me to make in the comments. I'm happy to make videos. You guys need to let me know what you want to see, what you want me to show or talk about, and we'll make it happen for you. But remember, smash the subscribe button and click on the notification bell because anytime I drop a video, you'll be notified so you can stay up to date with my whole Dubai journey. Anyway, without further ado, I'll catch you guys next week, and thanks for tuning in.